They called her Leopard Lady. And in 1963, she did something that completely baffled the scientific community. Her name was Jean Mill, and she walked out of a local pet shop with a wild, spotted Asian leopard cat. At the time, these exotic cats were being imported into the US in droves, but no one knew how to handle them. They were fierce, skittish, and terrified of humans. Jean didn't want to tame the jungle, but she felt sorry for her new pet, thinking that the little creature looked lonely. So, she made a decision that changed feline history forever. She put a regular pitch-black backyard house cat named Tommy into the enclosure to keep her company. Experts laughed. They said it was impossible. They were two entirely different species. It would be like trying to breed a lion with a house cat. But one morning, Jean walked into the room and heard a tiny sound. There, curled up against the rest, was a single, heavily spotted female kitten. Jean named her Kin Kin. Against all physical odds, the wild and the domestic had blurred. She had created the first Bengal. Hi, I'm Jasper, Monty, and Meeko's dad, and if you want to see the cute daily adventures of two house cats and a Bengal, make sure to follow us and check out our reels. But then, tragedy struck. Jean's husband passed away, her life was upended, and the project was completely abandoned. Kin Kin and her offsprings were gone. For nearly 20 years, the dream of a domestic leopard was dead. The story could have ended there. The story should have ended there. But in 1980, thousands of miles away, a doctor named William Centerwall was running a top-secret medical project at UC Davis. He discovered that Asian leopard cats possessed a bizarre genetic superpower. They were completely immune to feline leukemia, a deadly virus tearing through domestic cats. Dr. Centerwall began crossing the wild cats with lab cats to see if their immune systems could hold the key to a human cure. When the study ended, he had a facility full of hybrid kittens and nowhere for them to go. He called Jean. Jean felt the old spark ignite. She looked at the doctor's hybrids and brought them to her California farm and began a desperate, decades-long game of genetic puzzle solving. It was a nightmare at first. The first few generations of kittens, the F1s and F2s, were ghost. They hid under furniture, hissed at the sight of human hands, and the males were completely sterile, unable to have kittens of their own. It seemed like the wild blood was just too strong to tame. But Jean kept pushing, pairing them with sleek domestic breeds like the Egyptian Mao and the Abyssinian, and she was waiting for a miracle. And then came the fourth generation, the F4s. Suddenly, the wild defense mechanisms dropped away. The kittens opened their eyes, looked at human hands, and purred. Jean had done the impossible. She had trapped the striking fierce camouflage of the jungle inside the sweet, loving soul of a house cat. By 1986, the world caught wind of what Jean had created, and the Bengal cat blew up globally. But as people brought them home, they realized these cats had, brought some strange jungle secrets with them. Owners woke up to find their Bengals turning on kitchen faucets. Unlike other cats on the planet, Bengals just don't tolerate water. They loved it. They would dive into full bathtubs, play fetch like golden retrievers, and sprint down hallways with an eerie, silent predator grace. And then there was the glitter. When a Bengal steps into the morning sunlight, a recessive gene makes their first shimmer, as if it were dusted in actual flakes of gold. So, could you handle a cat with the DNA of a jungle hunter? Drop a comment below. And for more cute adventures of two house cats and a Bengal, check out @Jasper and Monty the Cats.